All right. Welcome into 5 Cent Media. My name is Marvin Wingfield, and this is
Evan Geiger.
Evan Geiger. We are, like I said, 5 Cent Media. This is our YouTube channel. We want to do this because we love to talk about sports. With that being said, we have the World Series coming up. I'm excited. Evan's excited. We're going to watch the game at my house tonight, Game 1 here in Houston. And it's a little cloudy, but the dome will be closed, so that won't play into anything, maybe just into traffic, and we're not going because that's a pretty penny out of my bank account. And so with that being said, Evan, who will win the World Series and in how many games?
I think it's really close, and I'm not an Astros fan, to preface. I'm a Cubs fan.
Cubs fan.
And I don't particularly like the Astros the way many people in Houston do. And so...
Not because they cheated, right?
I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
So...
I respect that.
I think it's really close, and I think the Astros have the advantage, especially with 4 of the 7 games being at home.
Yeah.
I think they played less recently than the Braves did. And
Minute Maid goes hard.
Yeah, I think they have. I think the Astros have the advantage, so I would say the Astros. But you and I have a bet already.
We do.
And I was forced to take the Braves, so I'm going to be rooting for the Braves because I want to win $20 from you.
It was a White Sox. No, if the Braves win, we're even.
I thought it was double or nothing. I thought we have continued to
double or nothing.
Yeah, so you're doubling your chances here, and then if you win, then you get 20, and if you lose, then you get nothing.
No, if I lose, you get nothing.
No, that's not how a double or nothing bet works.
Yes, it is.
It was a $5 bet. I lost.
So
you said let's double
it. Let's back it up. So we bet on the White Sox Astros. We both put $5 in. Okay?
Yes, and I lost.
And you lost, so you owe me $5.
You said double or nothing, which means $10 or nothing.
So on the Red Sox.
And then we double or nothing again to make it 20.
And so if the Braves win, you win 0, and we're even.
No. If the Braves win, I win 20, and you win nothing. And if the Astros win, you win 20, and I win nothing.
We'll talk about this off air with someone that has more common sense than you.
We need a mediator. If you're watching this, comment and tell us who's right.
I'm right. So you think the Braves in how many games?
I'm going to say the Astros win in 7.
Yeah. Okay, Astros in 7. I
think it's really close.
Okay, so I think the Astros are going to win, but I don't think they're going to take it to 7. I think that it could be over in 5 or 6. And I know that
it's presumptuous.
It is presumptuous, but so I'll say why. This is why. So I was going to save this to the end, but the one thing that to me that will decide the series is the Astros pitching, specifically their starters, and hoping that they don't have to go into the bullpen as early as they did early in the Red Sox series, which really cost them at the end. It cost them in game 3-4, 2-3, 2-3 they lost. Bad.
The first 4 games they didn't have a pitcher go past 3 innings to start a game.
Yeah, Greinke got pulled after an inning or 2. Fromber got pulled, and then when Fromber went 8 innings, they won. And Luis Garcia, and so I think that the one thing that will decide the series is the Astros pitching starters.
Well, you're banking on. You're saying they're going to win in 5 games. That's
You're banking. So I'm saying
Astros starting pitchers be good.
Yes, exactly. So I'm saying if the Astros starting pitching can be what they were in the end of the Red Sox series, and I mean this lineup can hit for days, and with the exception of Maldonado, every single one of them can hit. And we talked about it on the way here. Correa gets streaky, but I don't think that. I think he's had enough experience in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, that he can pick it up. So, with that being said, to you, what do you think? What will be the one thing that will decide the series?
I'm actually going to agree with you because they were, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in that series against Boston. You have games 2 and 3, and just the first 4 games in general, where the starting pitching did nothing. Yeah. And it was abysmal, and they had to go to the bullpen. And the bullpen is very good for the Astros. Kendall Graveman, Presley, and everybody else, they did a great job in that series. Whereas the starting pitchers gave up a lot of runs in that series and didn't make it very far. The bullpen picked up all the slack, and they won that series specifically because of the bullpen.
I think they did a very good job against the White Sox, too.
Yeah.
And, the Astros, through the first 3 games, they scored 25 runs or something. But, these in the playoffs for baseball, every team can hit pretty well, and I really think that. Thank you for agreeing with me. I think that's the first time we've ever agreed on anything, especially a bet. I'm right.
Well, I want to clarify what I'm saying is that the starting pitching for the Astros is the wild card.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're going to get.
I agree.
And therefore, if the starting pitching is good, then it stands to reason that the Astros will win.
Yeah.
If you're telling me the starting pitchers are going 5-6 innings each and they're only giving up a run, then that to me is a guaranteed win. There's no way you could tell me otherwise.
Especially for this Astros lineup.
But if they pitch the way they did against Boston, there's no reason they should lose.
I agree.
I mean, there's no reason the Braves should lose.
Yeah.
Just logically, it makes sense that your starters are going to have to get you at least 4 of the 7 games. Your starters are going to have to get you, 5-6 innings.
With McCullers not pitching, that puts a lot of pressure on Fromber to go deep, Luis Garcia, and it's going to be interesting to see who the starting pitching. To me, I think if the starting pitching in the first 2 or 3 games of the series, if the Astros can get up 2 or 3 games, then it's over. Obviously, it's hard to come back from 3. But if you can win the 2 in Houston, and if you can win 1 in Atlanta, you can come back and win Game 6 or Game 7.
It's honestly a toss-up because, like we've seen series before where, like, only the road team wins.
Yeah.
Like the World Series against the
Dodgers.
The Nationals, I think it was. The Nationals where the road team won every game.
Yeah, that's right.
And so games 1 and 2, you're thinking, wow, the Nationals won or whatever, and that they got it in the bag, and then it didn't work out that way because then you go
flip-flopped in Washington.
3 games and you lose those at home, and so it's really a wild card. It's so tough to say, oh, if you win Game 1 or you win Game 2, like you got it. And they always say, oh, teams that win Game 1 win 82%, but I wouldn't trust it.
No.
Sports have been crazy this year, especially baseball has been crazy.
Yeah.
You've seen the 3 best tes in the league, the Rays, Giants, and Dodgers are eliminated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And the Dodgers almost lost in the wild card.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's going to be a fun series. Game 1, 2 here in Houston tonight and Thursday. No, today's Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so this will be fun. My mother-in-law's from Atlanta. And
y'all have a bet on this, right? A stake or something?
No, that stake bet is over. I won for the better record. I did not expect. Yeah, she will. I did not expect these teams to make it to the World Series, but I am gonna cook her something special for
When
Saturday.
did you make that bet? Because the Braves were under 500, like 110 games in.
It was early on in the season. They were like
it was looking
10
like a
and
really
10.
good bet for a long time,
Yeah.
and then it got closer towards the
Yeah.
end.
So to close this out, I got 2 questions. 1, who will be the World Series MVP? And 2, and I'm just taking this off of ESPN. This is a question. I'm not even going to lie. Who will be the breakout player who becomes a household name? Let's go World Series first.
World Series MVP.
MVP first, yeah.
Well, obviously it depends on who wins because they're not going to give it to the losing player.
You're right.
Even if you bat 600, it doesn't matter. Obviously they didn't give it to Kike Hernandez in the last series, even though he tore the cover off the ball.
And the next ball. And the next ball.
So assuming, we both picked the Astros to win in what we thought. I would rather see the Braves win personally. I think it's a good story. And, they had to make moves because Acuña's out.
Yeah.
Acuna injured, and that's their star. I mean, Freeman
not
won
just
MVP last
injured,
year.
I mean, blown ACL.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough next season even.
I mean, Freeman, I'm not trying to disparage Freeman because he won MVP last year. Freeman is a great player. But the guy...
Is this his contract year?
I
think he's a free agent after this season.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But Acuna, that's a 5-tool star. That's a different level of player. Freeman is a great hitter, great player. He's a first baseman, though. That's a star center fielder out there making plays on the field, making plays at the plate, making fields with his legs. And so with him out, you've seen they had to acquire 4 outfielders: Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler, and Adam Duvall. Duvall was incredible in the series against the Dodgers. And Rosario had that amazing game where he had 2 home runs and a triple, and he went 4 for 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
6 RBIs and against the Dodgers. That's incredible. But Austin Riley, I think, is the guy. Oh, are we still talking about MVP?
MVP.
Okay.
MVP.
So I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to say Jordan.
Okay.
If the Astros win. And
so then the breakout player who becomes a household name
would be Austin Riley.
Okay.
That dude is not a household name yet, but I think he is extremely talented. He has so much power in his swing, and he's a pretty good third baseman with a strong arm.
So I'm going to agree with you on the MVP. I think if Jordan Jordan doesn't have to do much to win MVP. I mean, he's very clutch when it comes to needing a hit. He can get a hit. In the last game or the second to last game in the Red Sox series, he hit he hit a home run over left field, and then he hit a single off the wall. I mean, he can hit oppo. If we talked about it, he looks a lot like you to David Ortiz.
Yeah.
And where he just drops the bat and the ball is gone. I mean, he'll tear the cover off the ball.
I'm calling him Ortiz, Big Poppy Light.
Yeah.
Little Poppy. I don't know, whatever you want to call him.
Junior October.
Sure.
So my breakout player who becomes a household name, I'm going to say two of them, and I think that these players can make or break their name, and it's Framber Valdez and Luis Garcia. If they can, if Framber can get into the eighth inning like he did against the White Sox Red Sox, which flipped because game one
that flipped the series.
Yeah.
That's what they needed. After the starting pitchers wouldn't go nothing, and they used the bullpen.
They brought Greinke out from the bullpen. Well, they put him in the bullpen before the playoffs, and then they brought him out to get a pitch, and he hadn't pitched in like a month or started in a month or something, and Framber looked good.
But you have the first 4 games, they win less than 3 innings in the starters.
Yeah.
So that's less than 12 innings total out of your starters in what is 36 innings.
Yeah.
So 2/3 of the pitching had come from your bullpen, and that is not good.
That's not good at all.
So for Framber, in a swing game like that, to have 8 innings and 1 run, that is exactly what they needed. It rested the bullpen, it gave them the win, and it was just exactly what they needed.
They needed the bullpen needed the rest because they had pitched 50 plus or 75% plus of the first 4 innings.
I think Framber could be a huge role in this, and I think you could be right about that, but I will disagree with you on Garcia because that is a lineup for the Braves. You got Freddie Freeman, a lefty.
Yeah.
You got Albies, a switch hitter. You got Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario. You got some lefties in this lineup that they do not take it easy on right-handed pitchers, and he's a little wild at times.
He's
susceptible to the home run ball. I just don't see it working out well for Garcia. He probably will be, in my opinion, I think, and I'm sure I'm going to get quoted on this if I'm wrong, but I think Garcia will be the weakest link in starting pitching for the Astros in this series.
I can respect that for sure. It seems like he does get shaky a little bit, and Framber can be Joe Montana cool, just kind of walk back onto the mound and get right back into it. But I think if Framber if both those guys can pitch, and I don't need a 9-inning, no walk, 24 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Because the Astros lineup doesn't need that. If you can get into the 6th or 7th inning, give the game to Graveman or Matone or Presley at the very end, then the lineup can get a ton of hits and a ton of home runs. But even Kyle Tucker started his career off slow, and he's picked it up this season, and he's one of the hottest bats in the lineup right now, if not the hottest bat in the lineup.
Yeah, Jordan.
Him and Jordan. Yuli he won batting title this season, but the playoffs have come, and he hasn't hit that well, but he still hit pretty good. And
that's a threat. That lineup is a threat, 1 through 7, and obviously Maldonado is not an offensive catcher, but if you break it down position by position, to me it's a toss up on the infield. You're talking Freeman and Gurriel. Well, Gurriel won the batting title. Freeman won MVP last year.
Yeah.
I would probably go Freeman. I think he's more of a star player, even though Gurriel's got good numbers. I think Freeman has more of a threat, especially for power hitting. I think he's over Gurriel. And then you go to second base. Altuve and Albies, that's pretty close. If you want to give the nod to Altuve, that's fine.
Yeah.
You go to shortstop. I'm going to go Correa over Swanson, but Swanson's not a slouch. That can play.
Well, going back to your breakout name being Riley and against Bregman, who are you taking?
Right now, I'm going to go Riley.
Yeah. Bregman was injured a good chunk of the year.
Yeah. Bregman is just not on his A game right now.
Yeah.
And I've never been the biggest Bregman fan in the world, but I respect the guy and what he's able to do. And I just think right now, I'm going to have to go with Riley in that. And then you go to the outfield, and they added 4 outfielders, as we mentioned. And, it seems kind of crazy without Acuna, but I'm going to give the advantage to the Astros outfield with Tucker, Brantley, Jordan, and then obviously you're going to have maybe Chas McCormick in center or Siri here and there. But It's not what Jock Peterson has been doing, what Eddie Rosario have been doing, what Adam Duvall have been. Those three guys have been incredible, and maybe we'll see Soler at DH.
Yeah.
He can hit, and he's not as good of a hitter as Jordan, but he's got power. So I think it's really close to up and down the board. I think the starting pitching for Atlanta, I think I actually give them the advantage, but I give the Astros bullpen the advantage.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Ian Anderson, those are three good pitchers, and I trust them consistency-wise over Garcia.
I overlook Morton there.
Yeah.
It's weird to think he's a
He's
Brave.
pitched in a lot of big games.
Yeah. And for the Astros, obviously, and then for the Rays, obviously,
Yeah.
and now for the Braves, where he goes,
Yeah.
they go.
He was in the World Series last year.
Yeah.
And now he's in the World Series again. And
Yeah.
he was in the World Series with the Astros, I believe, in 2017 at least. I'm not sure about 2019.
Well, that'll do it for us here at 5 Cent Media. Thank y'all for listening. Check us out, and we'll come back with some more content later on, maybe during the World Series. We'll see if we can do like a middle of the World Series recap. But that'll do it. Thank y'all.